And then on the 19th, we have Romeo. On the 20th, we have Funny Bone. On the 25th, we have Delios. On the 26th, we have Bam Bam Quaid. And on the 27th, we have Dean Allmark. So all of August is in the books. You just gotta listen to them when they release. Alright, I think we're done putting ourselves over. No, Kaliko?
I mean, you got all them people over with them jobs, man. You got dudes with all these jobs.
Well, it may have been a good week for wrestling, but maybe not such a good week for WWE fans. We are wrestling with the news, and well, I mean, it was a great day for. I'll just say it. It's a great day for pro wrestling. Um, Again, maybe not such a great day if you're a WWE fan, as it was announced earlier this week that WWE PLEs will be moving to ESPN, straight to consumer, a new app that will be releasing later this month, but WWE PLEs will not be present on that app until January of 2026. Most notably, it is not $9.99 to subscribe to this service. It is not even $19.99. No, it's $29.99. It is $30 a month in order to subscribe and get WWE PLEs monthly. Kaliko, what are your thoughts on this new WWE venture?
Well, one, you kind of saw this coming with TKO having UFC with ESPN, right? Like, no one, you know what I'm saying? I was like, it was a matter of time before. Because I'm thinking the company TKO has to account for some of those losses that UFC, because UFC's in a weird funk right now because they don't have a bigger than life star that they can market around. And I mean 1.5 billion. That tells you everything you need to know, and it just confirms what we already knew, that WWE and ESPN are officially in bed. I mean, they already been in bed because keep in mind, there's a literal WWE section that covers wrestling for ESPN. I mean, to me, all this is just going further down that rabbit hole, if you will. Um, Now, some people can get mad about it because if they're just a wrestling fan and purely only a wrestling fan, I understand paying $30 a month. It ain't cutting it, especially when you've been introduced to $9.99 for roughly since 2014.
Yep, 2014.
So, so think about it, 10, 11 years of having this one set price, and all of a sudden, boom, it just skyrockets to 30. I can see people's gripe about it when it comes to that price point. For me, I mean, personally, I don't really care too much, and it's not even because I ain't got, because it ain't certainly because it's not like, oh well, I got the money and I can blow it, because I get it, $30 is $30. It's just that now I'm an avid sports watcher, so all the things that I get with it just further, excuse me, it just further makes me want to, okay, I can do it now.
You don't just watch
it doesn't,
WWE. You watch other,
right.
Sporting events that makes that $30 worth something to you.
Right. So for me, $30 to watch SEC football, I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or $30 to watch SEC football, or college football in general, I watch. If it's mother effers on the field trying to do something, I'm watching it. So I don't really mind too much about it because it all encompasses. The only thing I will have a problem with though is that because apparently if you have cable through certain carriers, it's a carryover for free. Now, for me as a YouTube TV subscriber, I was hoping that that would be the case. That ain't the case. So I got to fork over another $30. So I get why, I get being pissed about it. Sure, sure.
You,
Believe you me,
you
I
know,
get it.
it's not even the $30 that's the problem here. The problem is it's $30 for the paid previews, $20 for Netflix, however much, cable is for SmackDown, and I want to say NXT's free on CW, so
Local cable, but
local cable.
here's that's the other issue too.
So
Yeah, because it's all piecemeal. So
so
yeah,
I mean,
you're
just
right.
for the PLEs alone is $300. And then, I think somebody said online to watch all WWE programming that's on, subscription based networks, it's 550 bucks. It's
Depends.
that's
Depends.
asking
Because if
a
you
lot of, your fans. And, you know, we are we are very much creatures of habit. We are pro wrestling fans. We watch Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Friday, and we are accustomed to having all our content in one place, not
Mhm.
spread you know all over the place. Where you know it shouldn't be as complicated as wanting to watch, an episode of Friends. Like, oh, well, is Friends on HBO Max? Is Friends on Disney? Is Friends on Netflix? It gets too confusing and it's too convoluted. I get why they did it. It's a cash grab. More money. Banking, balling, whatever you want to call it. But I do think that this is going to backfire in their faces because
Mm,
people, and it's not, again, it's not even the $30. I mean, for a lot of people, it's going to be the $30.
oh,
Um,
for a majority of people, it's going to be $30. I say 80 80% is $30. Like the confusing the fact that it's on ESPN is not the issue because it's already been proven that fans will follow it because keep in mind it all used to be on USA. Then it was one on Fox and then one on USA. Hell, at one point it was one on TNN and one on Fox, and then it became Peacock and goddamn Netflix. And so, you know what I'm saying? So I get that point. Some people who have the cable providers, it'll be an easy, seamless transaction because it's free of charge. If you have, I will say this, if you have T-Mobile, Netflix is already covered for you. So that's a cost you don't even really incur. Um, Even with Verizon, I think if you have like Verizon cable, it's a seamless for the new ESPN thing too. So I, to me, I don't think the bigger issue is the price point more so than where it is, and that's why they decided to start it with the Royal Rumble because they know the Royal Rumble is one of those big events that a casual will watch.
True, but I, when we talk about, the the decline, I think that this is where the decline starts because, okay, so you're paying $9.99 for Peacock.
Right.
There's a lot. other than WWE content, there's a lot of shit that you could watch on Peacock. There's a lot of
Right.
TV,
Movies
movies.
and
That you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for $10 on Peacock. Netflix, I mean it's Netflix. You know, it started all this shit. You're getting a bang for your buck. ESPN, there's no, unless like you said, you're a avid sports watcher. It's worth it. But if you only watch one, I'll be
thing.
generous and say two different types of sports. ESPN is not going to have anything. You are literally just buying. You're not staying for what else they have. You're leaving after it's the PLE's done. You're not going to be firing up that app until next month. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and that's why I said they're banking on the fact that they're banking on the fact that that the ESP that the wrestling fan is also a sports fan. You know, the same way that a lot of people when they had those combos where they were hoping that the UFC fan was a WWE fan and vice versa.
But that didn't translate,
So
right?
you say what?
But that didn't translate.
Uh, I
I
think it translates easier from WWE to UFC than from UFC to WWE. But
I mean, if it did
with that,
translate, they would have done it more often. You know what I mean?
well, I mean, they did it in Anaheim. I don't know how. I mean, it just so happened that Anaheim had it. So,
And we haven't
to
heard about
me,
it since.
and we haven't heard about it since. So, God knows. But then again, the UFC kind of runs things. They don't really run things. How can I put it? They have a lot of their UFC fight nights, and use most of the time use most of their fight nights, which are like their monthly fights. Other than the pay-per-views, the other ones are usually in Vegas at their training center,
The Apex.
um, the Apex. So it's not like they're on the road as much as a WWE product. Um, so I get it. And to me, like I said, the price point to me is going to be the price point and who is going to be the the beneficiary of the transition of no extra cost. So like let's say if most of the people that have ESPN or let's put it like this, if you got the Hulu Disney, the Hulu Live Disney ESPN bundle, you're automatically. My assumption is you would be automatically rolled over.
You would be wrong in that. It's a separate.
Really?
It's a separate app compared to the one that is on Disney.
N- No, 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 no. But what I'm saying is that there, I wouldn't think that they would charge the people that got those bundles another $30 for this. I think that if they have the Hulu, like if you got Hulu Live, why would I? It's a transition. I think that's a transition because it's already bundled with ESPN. If I got that bundle, why would I pay another $30? You might as well just go ahead and give it to me for free.
I mean, that's yet to be seen. Like
Or at
I
least that's what I told. Hold on. As a matter of fact, I got a text. I'm looking. I can look at my guy from the because my guy was telling me this. See, my insider was giving me the email. He told me the email. He sent me the email that they had the morning of. See, this it pays to have a little. It pays to have a little thing right there.
oh
So,
yeah,
um, it's pricey. Way so they're trying to make ESPN honestly. ESPN trying to determine. Da, 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 da. So the assumption is that the Hulu ESPN bundle, whatever, is a transition at no cost. Now, if you have YouTube TV, that's a different story. Like for me, it's a different story.
Right.
So a lot of people who already have like the Hulu bundle with ESPN in it is not going to be affected. But the people who don't, I can see the $30 fucking them. Like, fuck it.
Yeah. Well,
But
I,
I'm still gonna get the bitch because I can't miss wrestling. My kid is on Yeet Man right now because he knows Cena's coming down the pipe. So
the 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 other thing that I just you know problematic in my opinion is that this is going to be a brand new app. You know, when it comes to these brand new apps, you know, there's obviously trial and error. There's there issues and problems occur on them. So I can imagine that when, and I mean from August to January, that's not a lot of time. That if they have any, bugs or glitches or problems, that it's going to be fixed by January. And then a lot of people are going to be very upset about not seeing the Royal Rumble, in perfect or pristine condition. And that is
right.
going to be that could be a monumental failure. I mean, we're not exactly in the Vince McMahon, he's got luck era anymore. We're in this is a soulless corporation era. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. What my thought process is that they're gonna take the ESPN Plus portion of it and just bundle it, throw WWE in it, and bundle everything. So I don't. I think it's going to be a new app. I just think they're just going to get rid of ESPN Plus and bundle the rest. I don't. I don't see it as a dire thing. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see it as a big of a hurdle as everyone else when it comes to the technical issue of it.
Prove me
Because
this
for
wrong.
$1 billion, they better get that shit right. The first you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They better get that shit right. And I think that they're gonna try to offset. And on my biggest fear about this is Stephen A. Smith possibly being at these events, and I just cannot. I can't deal. That might be the breaking point. Him trying to talk about some wrestling, knowing damn well he don't know what the hell he talking about. See, that would be my.
Okay. Well, I mean, it seems like it's $30 out of your pocket, an extra $30. Um, me, I'm
It is.
I'm gonna go a different way. Uh, I'm gonna take my ass down to the shoe store, and I'm gonna buy a good, nice new pair of boots. And those boots are gonna look really good on my legs.
I know. You know what though? And this is also just the U.S. portion, so it's not even like you know what I mean.
Yes, only America gets fucked over.
I mean, because we're a consumption country. Hey,
Yeet.
we're consumer. We're a consumer. We are consumer based in this mother. You know.
Well, maybe this is something that they hope that will offset this, and that is they are planning going forward, starting in like 2027. Um, all of the big PLEs will be 2 nights. So WrestleMania 2 nights, um, SummerSlam 2 nights, some Royal Rumble 2 nights, Survivor Series 2 nights, Money in the Bank 2 nights. Raw is going to be 2 nights. SmackDown is going to be 2 nights. Um,
SmackDown two
yeah,
two night NXT. I mean, but
Monday
they've
Night
been
Raw
doing
on a Tuesday.
it.
um, I,
SmackDown Saturday. I mean, hey,
I mean, mean, honestly, I think that it's just there is so there is such a thing as too much, and when you're saturating the market that much, it just becomes too much. And
I th-
a two night
saturating the market.
a 2 night WrestleMania, totally fine. I was in 2019 when they had the 2 day WrestleMania. It was technically the first 2 day WrestleMania because it went so long. I was like an advocate back then to say, they should do a 2 night WrestleMania because it's way too long. And
WrestleMania 35.
yeah, and
Oh, 35 was the breaking point.
yeah,
But that was the breaking point. I was there. It was a whole job in that bitch. Motherfuckers, motherfuckers was 19 was a breaking point. But it also made sense to make it 2 night because if you're I mean if you're gonna ask people to spend all this money, you might as well have them make a weekend out of it.
right.
Because think about it, they're investing. So if I'm investing that much on tickets, I might as well break it and make it 2 nights and make it a whole weekend instead of me having to go in and pop out, right?
Right.
Or for most people, they could just the ones who don't want to do both nights, they could just pick which night they care about the most. Like WrestleMania, more people this year. WrestleMania, everyone it was a lot of people there for night one, no doubt, but more people cared about night two than night one. So people can decide, and I get that. I don't want people
Well,
them doing their major shows as a 2 night format. To me, actually gives consumers a choice to do one and or both. And I'm not mad at that. I want to, because a family of four trying to do a 2 night fucking, or doing a 2 night WrestleMania, that ain't in the cards in this economy. So I'd rather them be able to, hey, I want to go to the one that I care about the most and still have a good time and don't feel like that they're getting shafted.
well, I mean, like I said, a 2 night WrestleMania makes sense with the amount of wrestling that WrestleMania has accumulated to. I mean, you could make the argument that SummerSlam kind of, sort of could fit in that category as well,
Oh,
but
this year it
it,
worked. It
it,
worked big time.
it worked to a degree, I would say. I don't think that you really need a 2 night SummerSlam. A 4 hour SummerSlam would be perfect. It wouldn't necessarily break the bank, so to speak. Um, but a
Wait till Minnesota.
um Royal Rumble, I have that is going to be very problematic because
You think so?
because I don't see a lot of people. People are going to go to night. I'm assuming night two. Let's say night two is going to be the men's Royal Rumble. Night one's going to be the
Yes.
women's Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Nobody's going into a 60,000 seat arena just to see the women's Royal Rumble. And I'm
Well,
sorry,
here's my.
that's just the case. And
Nah, I think they're gonna.
if you need
Well, they're
evidence
gonna
of
split it.
that, if you need evidence of that, the
Look at Evolution.
Evolution, Goldberg's final
Well,
match was in the same place, 13,000 seats. Evolution, 8,000 seats. If that doesn't tell you right there, I don't necessarily know what will.
but but now that they got two brands and two titles, it splits it. So the World Heavyweight Championship with the Women's Royal Rumble on night one, the Undisputed Championship and the Men's Royal Rumble night two. I sorry to see it coming.
So you're saying have 4 Royal Rumbles?
You say what?
Are you saying to have 4 Royal Rumbles?
No, 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 no. Because the titles are going to get defended at the Royal Rumble. They're just going to split the same way they did at SummerSlam. They're just going to split it and then put and make the one where the women's Royal Rumble have the most important of those two matchups, or the most sought after of those two matchups. They're just gonna pair it.
I think this.
Because if you so prime example, let's say if it was Cody Cena, Cody Cena would be paired with the Women's Royal Rumble because you're gonna want to see Cody Cena, so therefore you have to go through the Women's Royal Rumble to see it. See what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I think that this is very problematic. I think that it's not going to be good for WWE. I think that I mean, they're already spreading their fan base pretty thin with the ticket prices that they're charging, and now times two.
Well, that's
They
why they do the package. That's why they do the. Honestly, if you're not trying to do it like me, where I wait to the last minute and get this shit, and you know what though, I will give the fans credit. See, that's where you're underselling. Prime example, Money in the Bank. I'll put it this way: Money in the Bank. How much did you pay for your two seats at Money in the Bank
I paid more
total?
than I needed to.
No, no, I'm serious. No, I'm saying the price point. Just say the price point and when did you pay?
I paid right at the right when the first pre-order went pre-sale went up, and it was
Right.
I want to say it was a substantial amount of money, but it was definitely tickets for Worlds Collide was significantly less afterwards.
Right. But I'm just using Money in the Bank as a precursor
Right.
because I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about
No, I
when you
can
do it.
see.
So that's why I'm wondering, like, give me the ballpark price point that you paid. I'm not like that
Just let's just say under $1,000
for two tickets, right?
for tickets, technically.
Four, well, 1,000 for four tickets, right?
Yeah.
So I will say this: the fans get hip the game because keep in mind, I was paying attention to those tickets all up until the week of. And the same seats that they tried to charge what 5,000 or 12 to $1,300 the entire time, it got to a certain point where it was like $500,
Yeah. I know.
and that's when so fans are hip to the game. I think you got some that have FOMO and they're gonna do it, but for the majority of fans that are hip to the game, they wait, and the moment it hit, like I can tell you right now, I bought my tickets the Wednesday. I bought them, I think Tuesday or when? No, I bought them Tuesday. Tuesday before Money in the Bank, and it was like five and some change.
I mean, that's not bad.
And
And that's the
and then
reason
when I
why I did not buy tickets for Survivor Series yet. Because
yeah, and then when I got to Worlds Collide, we showed up at the gate, and it was like $50.
yeah, that sounds about right.
And I was right behind you. I was right in front of you, actually. I was right in front.
Yeah.
So it's like three rows in front of you. So what I'm saying is that there's ways around it. I wouldn't think when it comes to that, there are ways around it. It's hard for a family of four to do it than two people, right?
Right.
Or one person. So I get that part. I just say the fans are smarter than most people think when it comes to these tickets, and they're willing to wait it out. Two, um, I don't think it being a 2 day thing is a bad thing, depending on the city. Because if you're in, I mean, New Jersey, I most people probably spent more time. That's the most time more people spent in New Jersey in a minute, because everybody be trying to go to Brooklyn
Right.
or Manhattan. So it forced you to kind of stay in Jersey. Next year is Minneapolis. I am curious to see how that works. Because Minneapolis is like one of those middling cities, and I'm not saying like in a bad way. It's just when you're thinking of Minneapolis, it's not like you're like, oh my God, I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So that's where we want to see the surge. The biggest test for this two night is actually starting in 2026 in Saudi Arabia. That's going to be a fucking test.
Well, I mean, the Royal Rumble isn't going to be 2 nights in Saudi. They haven't announced it, when it's going everything's going to 2 nights, but
I thought it was.
it's probably essentially they said that it was going to start in 2027. Um, so we have one more day, one more year of single PLEs. Again, personally, I think that it's spreading everything too thin, and it becomes too convoluted. You're pricing out the fans, for the ones that actually do, pay those monumental prices. And I think that you're going to start to see a major decline when it comes to WWE when we get to that point. If I'm being completely honest, maybe they'll hold some momentum. I could not tell
Hmm.
you, but I think we're starting to go into the cool off phase, so to speak.
Well, it depends because here's the problem. Here's the thing with that. That could be the case if they weren't doing if they were still doing house shows. And that's where the demand is.
But house shows
The,
are
the,
significantly less than a PLE.
no, that's my point. What I'm saying is the model that they're doing is they kind of got rid of a lot of they rarely do house shows now. And that drives up the demand to be at these events more. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like, it, prime example, a house show, like prime example, if you were doing a Monday Night Raw in South Carolina and in Charleston, and then the next day you're going to Columbia, South Carolina, more people would wait till you come to Columbia than go to Charleston, right? But now that you only have that one Monday Night Raw in Charleston, that is it. You, it drives people to have to, the people who want to go. You see what I'm saying? That otherwise wouldn't go. So it's one of those things where they're banking on the model of less is more because prime example, we had Raw in LA and we were clamoring for you remember the first Raw on Netflix in LA and we were clamoring for the next one and then we got Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide and now we're still clamoring for one. See, so that's the model, right? Like the less is more model.
I wouldn't say that I was
So
clamoring.
far, so far it's
I was more
so
like,
far
fuck
it's
me, I have to
working.
pay for this.
You say what?
I wasn't clamoring. I was more like,
Oh hell, yeah, I
it's.
was Money in the Bank. Man, I never been to a Money in the Bank. I was fucking stoked.
I mean, neither am I, but first and foremost, it was an Intuit Dome in Eaglewood, and for the people that know Intuit Dome and Eaglewood, like, fuck the Intuit Dome in Eaglewood and Eaglewood as well. Um,
Nice stadium, just the wrong goddamn area. It is like, yeah, I get it,
yeah, like
but
parking is a
back to the
bitch.
topic.
Like just to like I only live like 20 minutes away from it, and it's like maybe $200 actually just to get through the Intuit Dome door, not excluding ticket prices. Like it's like ridiculous, and the people are there as assholes, and the fucking app, like, again, fuck the Intuit Dome.
Mm,
But like I was saying, it's just I wasn't. I mean, the I like going to WWE events. If the means are there, absolutely. But when you're getting priced out, and I mean that Raw in Netflix was pretty expensive. It's and then you have to do it 6 months later, and it's at times two now with Worlds Collide. it's a lot, and that's coming from, as you probably know, as everybody knows, a super fan of WWE.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's we'll see how long this lasts. Because people are now at this point, it's crazy. If you're thinking I'm put it like this: the next event will be a telltale because it's gonna have to have, or the next event or event in the U.S. that's a PLE is gonna be the telltale because more than likely Brock Lesnar is gonna be somewhere involved in that bitch.
And there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Brock, but as everybody knows, Saudi Arabia is getting Royal Rumble in January. Um, there is a heavy rumor that it's very likely, or just likely in general, that WrestleMania will be in Saudi Arabia in 2027. Um, as somebody that goes to WrestleMania as often as you do, I can't imagine you're taking a flight to Saudi Arabia, are you, Kalika? Or would you consider that? Or
I don't think 2027 is not going to be in Saudi Arabia. WrestleMania 2027 is going to be slated in Nashville, Tennessee. It, because it is based on when that stadium is completed, it's getting to WrestleMania. You can bet your ass on it.
well, usually the Super Bowl has to be in that stadium first, and then after the Super Bowl's in there, then WrestleMania comes probably the next year.
Nah, not gonna happen. Nah, because keep it. Let me see. I'm trying to think. No, because Super Bowl in
Levi Stadium.
LA, SoFi was 2020 or 2021. No, it's 2021, and then WrestleMania was 3 years, 2 years later. Now WWE already said once Nashville's done, they're getting it.
I mean, obviously, yeah, they're getting it. But let's just say at some point in the next 5 years, Saudi Arabia is getting WrestleMania.
Now that is more realistic in the
So,
next 5 years because I don't see it. But here's my issue. I don't think. I mean, the Royal Rumble got there. It can get there. The issue that's gonna happen is Royal Rumble is gonna be. We got to see how the Royal Rumble works because Saudi Arabia is not. It's a town, but it's not like a party all night town, and that's gonna be the big culture shock. Um,
and
and usually,
as
and you,
much as Saudi Arabia likes to think that they're a tourist attraction, uh, if you look in those WWE crowds in Saudi Arabia, I dare you to find somebody that looks remotely English or
well, one
Caucasian.
because there's no selling of alcohol in the stadium.
And I mean that's a big mute point for you.
That's a big mute point for a lot of people. That ain't just me, my man.
But I mean that is a good question. I I've always felt like those Saudi Arabia shows were like an encapsulation where it was just people from Saudi Arabia. Like I mean, you don't see the green short guy in the crowd. You don't see George Kettle. You don't see Jelly Roll. It's very much just the people of Saudi Arabia. It feels like it excludes people from different parts of the world. I mean, you don't see Americans, Canadians, Australians in the crowd during those shows. So I don't. I mean, they could force the people from Saudi Arabia to attend the show so it looks more full, but I don't think people are actively seeking and going to Saudi Arabia as much as WWE and Saudi Arabia is presenting that they are. I mean, I could be completely
Well,
wrong about that, but
no, you're right. You're right. But my thing is that my personal thing is that the events in Saudi Arabia is for the people of Saudi Arabia. And this is coming from someone who is part of a group where they travel for a lot of goddamn shows. If they ain't going over there.
so how big is this group, may I ask?
Uh well, I told you it's Mania Club. It's probably roughly about what, 20,000 members strong?
20,000. So, I mean,
And
let's.
I'm talking about every PLE, there's people there and there's people who go to multiples of these things. So I don't see nobody was going, hey, we're in Saudi Arabia. They were saying we in Paris. They were saying we were in Puerto Rico. They were saying we were in France. They were saying we were in Germany. They were saying they were in London. They'll probably say they were in Australia, but they ain't going to Saudi Arabia.
Could. I mean, obviously, the cash grab is the simple fact that it's, Saudi Arabia is going to pay them more than they would make with an audience. But this could be because I feel like it's going to happen. That it's going to get there because they're just going to offer them that much money that they say, we're going to do WrestleMania there, but it's going to be like WrestleMania 36 where it's there's not an actual crowd. It's going to be like the most lifeless WrestleMania crowd since WrestleMania 36, which had no crowd. I mean, you've heard Saudi Arabia crowds. I mean, they don't make a lot of noise, and I don't think that they're maybe as smart to the business as obviously people that come from all over the world as well.
I mean, come on, they were requesting Yokozuna. I mean, what would
Right.
you like? They're like, yo, can we get Bam Bam Bigelow? Like, what the fuck? And that's no knock on them. It's just that, yeah, I think the fervor for the overseas tends to stop in the European side. Hell, Australia even gets some, like, would get some. I think if the New Zealand gets one, it'll be lit. But that's the only reason I don't think WrestleMania would go to Saudi Arabia because usually you want to go. It's you usually want to be in a destination city for WrestleMania because it's not just about WrestleMania, it's WrestleMania week.
Right.
So that's why I don't think Saudi Arabia is going to get it.
Well, there's even been discussion where they have two WrestleManias. And I'm not talking like a two-night WrestleMania. I mean like two WrestleManias. One that's obviously going to be more accessible to people around the world than obviously the Saudi Arabia WrestleMania. I feel like that's going to be like the greatest Royal Rumble event. I don't know how that's going to work and if people will actually respond to it, but I mean, that's an option, I guess? Question mark?
Well, here's the thing. They're getting I'm trying to think. So let's see. They had Saudi Arabia, but they had the what is it? The Night of Champions. What was it? Night of Champions?
Yeah, it's Nine
Night of
Champions,
Champions, Crown Jewel, Royal Rumble. They
greatest
ain't
Royal
getting the
Rumble.
Mania. And then they're gonna have to run Crown Jewel back. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. I don't see it.
We will see. But I think that it's very likely that we're going to see a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. And I think that that might be a nail in the coffin when it comes to TKO WWE. But like I say, it's only my opinion.
It's a blind demand, so it just depends.
Speaking of nails in the coffin, Karrion Cross, his deal has expired with his contract has expired with WWE. Um, it is reported, if you believe rumor and innuendo, that a new offer was given to him, but he has yet to sign. I feel like the SummerSlam match was telling, if he would have resigned, he maybe probably would have won that match against Sammy. But since he didn't resign, he did not win that match. And you're not signing with us. Go over. Sammy no Yob. Um, I mean, something might change between now and then. This could actually be a work from what I'm hearing. Um, I think Cross could have been a really big, but not a really big star, but he could have benefited WWE, with what he's doing right now, and they just kind of put him to the wayside, or and basically, Zack Rydering him, so to speak. Um, what are your thoughts on if Karrion Cross stays?
I mean, if he stays, uh, it gives them. I mean, it's going to give them the opportunity for them to make something of it. My biggest worry with Cross is that the writers or the powers that be don't put him over because they think he got over. I'm scared they're going to give him the Zack Ryder treatment,
Right.
pretty much, because Zack Ryder got over with it, not really in spite of them, because it's kind of backwards. And it was funny, I was listening to, what was it, Busted Open, and uh, Baron Corbin had that, and I was like, yeah, the Zack Ryder got that. Uh, the writers want to get you over, and when they see you getting over without them, it's funny because you can't get over until you get a buzz, but you can't get a buzz until you get something that gives you a buzz. So Karrion Cross doing all this shit that's getting him a buzz, and people are yelling that he want him, and the writers are probably looking at it like, well, he's in it for himself, even though he's probably doing it just so he could get an opportunity to be on TV. So he's basically getting punished for thinking outside the box to get himself over and not going within the confines of the company way to get himself over, if that makes sense.
No, it does. Unfortunately.
And and that's very effing unfortunate, because wouldn't you want your guy? Wouldn't you want any of the superstars in your company to get over? Because if that's the case, why would you have them?
Right. I just think of it like who initially brought Karrion Cross into WWE? Triple H. I mean, he made him, like a big star in NXT, and like he was like, on the forefront, and he was had an undefeated streak, and like he was like a big deal in NXT. And then,
Hmm.
Trip. Obviously, everything happened with him in WWE when Vince was still in charge. That's not the case anymore. Triple H is in charge. The guy that
Hmm.
obviously saw something in him to begin with. So why is he treating him so badly?
I don't think it's treating him badly. I just think, uh, I think they just want, I think they want him to get over. But here's my thing: if they were treating him badly, they wouldn't have promoted the book he released.
He released a book.
Yeah, they promoted his book at SummerSlam. They're promoting the book release.
He did not. maybe that just went over my head, or I didn't just hear that. But
It
um,
was during the pre-show, so that's why.
well, that makes completely sense. Why the fuck would I watch the pre-show?
Well, I was here. They had. I mean, I was here for 3 hour pre-show.
If Cross leaves WWE, I mean, what is there really for him to do? I mean, he came from Impact. I mean, he could go back to Impact, but I don't see what that would, benefit him. He could go to AEW, but like, I don't see what. But there's not a lot of real estate that he hasn't already, you know, that he wasn't already a part of, and I don't see where AEW would do anything with him that has already hasn't been done. You know what I mean?
Hmm. I mean, but yeah, you're right. But I mean, honestly, I think he's still under contract. I think he's gonna stay.
I think he's going to say stay too. Maybe, maybe not because of the opportunities, but maybe just because he does seem like a stubborn guy, and he wants to see something through because he believes that he could actually see it through and make something of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think he might succeed if he actually has that attitude. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to have the machine behind you. So let's see if that actually you know works for him. Speaking of the machine behind you, the machine ran him right over, and I'm talking about Austin Theory. Um, he's a part of the inactive roster right now, or he was moved. I could make the argument that is just because he's injured right now. Um, it could be a part of a bigger storyline with Grayson Waller, um, or it's just the fact that they're him getting injured is kind of the last nail in the coffin that it's time to put Austin Theories in his future endeavors. I,
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't think Austin Theory is that bad of a wrestler. Um, he's definitely missing something, I would say. But it just kind of feels like Triple H's, thought process on him was, "You're a Vince McMahon guy. Al, goodbye. Well, I'm gonna make you look like he made my NXT guys look. Whether he's that petty or not, it has yet to be seen. But that's kind of the impression I got. Considering that he went from Money in the Bank briefcase holder to a pretty forgettable tag team. It just kind of speaks volumes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, um, it just depends. I don't know if he's gone. So everything that I see, it says, okay, it's administrative and he's not released. Because usually when they release, WWE just announces we released, blah, blah, blah.
Right, but I'm pretty sure he's injured right now. So I mean, doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
he's injured. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could maybe make the argument that this was the biggest blessing in disguise for him. I'm not saying that's a good thing when somebody gets injured, but you go away, you learn a new whole. Once you're out of the machine, it's easy to look out inside from the outside and figure shit out. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe because he's probably been doing all the other stuff that the meet and greets and such. So that's why I don't think he's gone. I mean, if he's gone, they would have said he's gone.
I mean, they can't fire
The,
somebody that's injured. I mean,
the
they'll.
hell you can. Shit, these motherfuckers don't. Man, you tripping?
I mean,
Yeah, they will.
they're not that big of monsters, are
I
they?
ain't say they are big monsters, but the hell they can. You acting like they can't. Shit. She don't put it past him.
I mean, yeah, yeet.
Do not put it past him. I am not putting it past him.
Somebody else that's out right now is a gun, one Gunter. He broke his nose. For those who don't understand German. Um, I think that it was the best way to kind of keep him off TV right now because I don't see where he's going to be, relevant in the next couple of months with everything that's kind of happening and with Punk, Rollins, Roman, that whole shebang. He doesn't necessarily fit into all of that. Until
Mm-hmm.
so not saying that it's good when somebody gets injured, but it was probably the perfect time to you know take a step back, so to speak, because I don't think anybody was clamoring for a Gunter versus Pat McAfee Part 2.
Well, not even that, but he's going to get the rematch, and actually, this helps delay that because now the story with Seth can roll out because eventually it's gonna Roman's gonna get a crack. Punk damn sure is gonna end up getting a crack eventually. I think Ooze could get a crack. It's a lot of people that could be uh, jumping in this fray.
And you're under the impression Roman don't want that belt. Roman just wants to fuck him up. when
But
when
it
he
wouldn't make sense to put him in it without putting the title on the line because it you know what I'm saying? Main event player. You're not going to put him in a big main event non-title match one on one.
I mean, they might just put the belt on the line just to say that the belt is on the line. But I don't see where Roman wants that belt. He was WWE champion. He made complete and utter garbage of that belt when he was WWE champion. So he's not going to, turn around now and say, "No, I want that belt. It will look good around my waist."
Well, I ain't saying that, but it builds the mystique because the thing is that i- if that belt's not on the line, you can make the argument Roman's going to win. The odds are going to be 90-10 that he wins. So putting the belt on it leaves the ambiguity that he could lose.
I mean, I mean, you could maybe make that argument, but I could make the argument that it could go either way when the belt's not on the line because Roman is like, I don't need that belt, I don't want that belt, I just want to fuck you up, which makes it a grudge match, and then a grudge match could go either way. I'm not here for the belt. I'm here for retribution. I'm here because you took my wise man. That
No, he don't give a shit about the wise man.
that but
SummerSlam showed you he didn't give a shit about the wise man.
that's the story. You and that's where it's not about the title. For a Punk, it's about the title because it's about Punk wanting to be on the mountain and set constantly, contradicting him. Roman is you you screwed me over. You took my wise man. You're fucking with me, and your boy took my shoes like multiple times. Like I I need to correct this. I can't let. It's not about him taking Paul Heyman away. It's about that it happened, and you disrespected me, so I have to retaliate and get retribution for that. Because then
Ah,
I look bad if I don't.
the only way I could believe that part angle of it is if they're going back and putting whole historical context in it. Because this isn't the first time Seth has gotten the best of Roman period, right? I could see that argument until they put that in put that context in there. I don't see. I Roman Seth is going to be a title match. Now, I don't think Roman's gonna. I think Roman will win like DQ or whatever the case may be, but I don't see. I can't see WWE putting its biggest star in a match with the champion and not be for a title. Sans unless it's a tag or a multi-man match.
Which more than likely we're going to get at Survivor Series. It's going to be Division, as they call it now. Shit fucking name. More than likely against Punk, Roman, and Jay, and an unspecified fourth person. I mean, more than likely.
More than likely.
And I'm under the impression, if Jelly Roll versus Logan Paul in Hell in a Cell doesn't happen, we'll get Punk and Rollins in a Hell in a Cell.
Man, Jelly Roll better not run his ass nowhere near Hell in a Cell.
Well, going off of, some bad news, and that was a lot of bad news, into some kind of positive, semi-positive news. So Ruca, she has been absolutely killing it and smashing it on NXT. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if I said this on air. I got Jeff Hardy vibes from her. 2006, 2007 Jeff Hardy vibes. Well, WWE is feeling those vibes as well. They're feeling like they're pretty high on her right now, and they're going to be looking to bring her onto the main roster sooner rather than later. I like the idea of Soul, getting an opportunity. I'm obviously a fan, but they haven't even. Stephanie McClure is just getting her opportunity, like later this month. Julia is already United States champion, and Tiffy is having her run right now. I kind of feel like if it will just be an oversaturation of the women's roster, which I can't believe I'm actually saying at this point, considering at one point the women's roster had zero depth. And I'm afraid that if they bring her sooner rather than later, and they don't present her like as a big star, that she's just going to be lost in the shuffle and ultimately fail before she was even given a chance to succeed. Thoughts, Kalika?
But I don't think Soul Ruka. I mean, yeah, she has a title, but she's not a person that really would need the title to get over. Because I told you, it gives me Soul Ruka give me Rocket Power vibes.
Right. Yes, you did
So,
say that.
so to me, it's giving a different lane from all the other girls. Because prime example, Rhea's the goth chick. Uh, Tiffy's the prissy girl.
She's the Barbie
Charlotte's
doll.
the yeah, she's the Barbie girl. Charlotte is allegedly the standard. Becky's kind of like
The man.
this anti-reflective hero who's trying to push everyone down. Bailey is basically a wide range of all of it. Uh, Naomi has came into being the crazy one. Bianca is just straight. Bianca and Jade are in the athletically strong uh, portion of it. Then you have your international flavors with Asuka and Julia um, and then of course Stephanie, of course, her own planet at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Soul would fit in just being a totally antithesis of all of that. It's just another lane that they're trying to fulfill.
But if there's not a spot, like I said, there's an oversaturation right now. You know,
I don't think so. Because if it were, they wouldn't. I mean, everyone that's there is getting used. And to get away from having them deal with each other every week, like, you kind of got to mix it up a little. They're mixing it up a little bit here and there. Because if that was the case, I mean, keep in mind, they brought up most of those people this year. They brought up what? Julia, Roxanne, Stephanie, just this year alone.
and we just got
And then
to
and
Stephanie.
Kiana just got back.
I mean, true. But I mean, Stephanie is
Asuka came back. So yeah, it's just they're just stacking that women's division. They're stacking it. I mean, that's what we've been clamoring for is depth, and that's the point. I mean, not everybody's going to be on top, but it gives rotation, and as long as everyone has a trajectory and a story to attain to, then there shouldn't, to me, there's no problem.
I mean, if that is actually the case. But like I said, I just don't want there to be like, you're calling too many people up and not everybody is getting, an opportunity. You know,
I mean,
it's
shit,
Stephanie.
We thought Roxanne wasn't going to get an opportunity, and sure as shit, she was a tag champ. Same with Julia. Same, and Roxanne's now fucking number one contender.
And I mean, uh, Stephanie is just getting her title opportunity now against Naomi.
Yeah,
Uh, so I mean, it was, and but I mean, Stephanie has been there since what? Since April on the main roster? No.
yeah.
Um, kind of low key. I mean, she's been there a hot minute, but and I don't know. I don't. I think Soul is a really special talent that is going to sell a lot of tickets. And if it's just, if they're just putting her on the sake of the roster, for the sake of putting her on the roster, and she gets lost in the shuffle, then it's just a waste. When you just had four girls, just make their debut, less than 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I still think that I think this is a lot because eventually you're gonna. It's about trying to introduce these next generation of talents, and you're gonna have to do it eventually.
True.
And that doesn't mean that they have to come in and be world champion immediately. It just so happened with some of them, you gotta introduce them, get them coming, because eventually they're gonna have to have the turn to sink or swim.
Very true.
I mean, unless you just want them to be, well, I ain't gonna say that, but unless you just want them to be in NXT forever, like Chase U or what, JC Jane, or you know what I'm saying.
Right. I gotcha.
So, I mean, give them the shot, and if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I think Soul, like I said, she is nothing like any of the other girls on the roster, and I think that is going to help her because she sticks out.
Not to mention she's had some of more than a few bangers with the girls in recent months as well. I mean, the one with Kailani was fantastic. Just this last past Tuesday, she wrestled Tatum Paxley in a match that was too good, way too good to be as good as it was. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah. Um, So yeah, let's go from way too good to definitely not good enough, and that is MJF. Um, he is officially kicked out of the Hort business, Hort Syndicate, the Ouchie Club, the Ouchie business, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, it was just odd because it wasn't necessarily, they beat him up and, there's going to be a rivalry now. It was kind of like, dare I say, a wet fart. He was just kind of kicked out, and that was it. And it makes me wonder why do it in the first place if there wasn't going to be, something there to begin with. You know what I mean?
I mean, maybe they know his track record.
Well, I mean, and I'm not sure if you saw this segment, but MVP just basically told him, you're kicked out. They don't like you. Um, if you're too consumed with, you getting the championship, um, and you're not going to be a part of the club anymore. I hope you don't win the championship because Bobby Lashley is going to come for it, and that's not going to be business. That's going to be personal. Paraphrasing somewhat there, but that was the gist of the promo. It just seems like a really odd way to end a program. No?
I mean, but I look at it like the Hurt business had a certain trajectory they were wanting to go to, especially being an all black faction, a certain level that they were trying to go to. MJF, yes, him being champion would raise some problems in the Hurt business. Honestly, I think MJF, he doesn't really need a faction. I I never got why he was trying to be in it in the first place. I thought that I was, maybe people were thinking of the sentiment that maybe it could benefit because you know how he is. But with that benefit, it also comes with he has had a track record of betraying so many people, and only once he's been betrayed. And we never really got a payoff from that,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I I honestly, it's best for him to go on his own because you're gonna want him because he's gonna want to cash in on Hangman. The question is how long is he gonna wait to cash in on Hangman? Because I think that's gonna end up being a rivalry. And the last thing you want to do is have that dangling. If it's not gonna happen within the next 2 months, there's no sense of having him in the Hurt business dangling it.
True. Well, if you believe rumor and innuendo, legitimately, there might have been some heat between MJF and a member of the Hort Syndicate. You could make a guess on which one. Um, and
Bobby
that,
Lashley.
and they didn't want him in the group, so it actually became, art imitating life, so to speak.
Sounds
So
about right.
I mean that could be true. It's also about the fact that there is some rumor and innuendos that there is heat, backstage heat on MVP, because he's difficult to work with. He does not like Speedball Mike Bailey for whatever reason, and he's been a big proponent of how the Hurt business is portrayed and who they put over and how they go over in their matches. One might say that it's been a lackluster run for the Hurt Syndicate, considering the matches that they've had. But I'm always a proponent of, if there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe not to raging fires of like California wildfires, but I do feel like it wouldn't have been mentioned if there wasn't something there. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's something there. It's just that I think that the Hurt Business joined wanting to be perceived a way that they weren't in WWE. That was the entire goal. End story, point blank, period. And anything that is intruding on that to them is not worth it.
But I mean, why heat on Speedball Mike Billy? Having spoken to a lot of people that know him, he's like a fantastic human being.
I mean, you could be a fantastic human being. Not everybody's going to like you. I mean, that's just part of the business. That's just part of the game. I wouldn't, if I were Speedball Mike Bailey, I wouldn't think that's super serious. But hey.
I mean, you're right about one thing. They want to be perceived in a certain light, and
Yeah,
obviously that light wasn't how they wanted to. WWE didn't see them in that light, and it's not exactly going well in AEW at this point. Like I said, somewhat lackluster. There was rumor that they were supposed to drop the belts to FTR. MVP said that don't work for him, brother.
I mean, why would it?
I mean, the bigger rivalry is Edge and Christian versus FTR, and you want the titles on the line, no?
Really wouldn't matter if one group's retiring.
Um, I guess, but uh, I don't know. It just seems like unnecessary drama in AEW. Even somebody said that AEW, from a locker room stance, has been the healthiest it's been in years, maybe if ever. So with this drama coming out, I'm sure that it's you know not going over well.
I mean, it's just a little drama. I mean, keep in mind, this same one had Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker literally not liking each other. So, I
Right.
mean, it's,
But,
it happens in every locker room. Like,
well, we will see if anything develops with that. Um, that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.